Well, welcome back, guys. To another Rumble. Well, I have a very interesting topic to share with you. I was really thinking about what topic to bring to the table. I was thinking about 2020. You know, guys, that there's this tendency we're having at the moment that 2016 is becoming popular. It's a year that many people are considering as the last one we lived, or we enjoyed ourselves the most. I would like to share with you. Guys, I've talked about that in previous videos. I'm 33 years old, and I would like to share with you what about or what was happening in 2016. What's my personal opinion, whether or not things have changed in terms of relationships, friendships, work. Like a whole panorama from my humble opinion as a mere, let's say, archive, or just to share something with you guys. And to share some anecdotes about 2016, and why, in my opinion, could be considered the last year of these connections, or let's say enjoying ourselves as a society. Well, guys, so sorry about my ideas. I'm a little bit like going in circles because I just came from the gym, and I'm into speaking a little bit this Friday. So I hope you enjoy this rumble, right? As I always said, so guys, if you find these rumbles very interesting, and if you are enjoying my company, to go to, let's say, to go to the park, to wash your dishes, to clean your room. So here we are with another mini podcast, or rumble, or as you wish, as you wish to call it. 2016. In 2016, perhaps I was 24 years old, if I'm not mistaken. 24, yeah, 24 years old. Yes, was I? Yes, 24 years old. Just confirming. 23, 24 years old. It was a very interesting, let's say, stage in my life, because I let's say I moved to another country, as you know, guys, as I've shared with you beforehand. And something that maybe helped me, in my particular case, not to be so dependent on technology and whatever, was that at that time I didn't have any Instagram account. I had my YouTube channel, but it was a very, let's say, silly YouTube channel. I used to play the guitar, and I recorded myself playing some solos, and so also when I had like cool pictures, I had like some collections, or let's say some, I wouldn't say collections, sorry guys, like I had some photos, like a group of photos that I put together with, let's say, a song or whatever, and I uploaded that to YouTube. So that was my only social media in a way. I had Facebook, but I was not that kind of user who was all the time, like using Facebook and so on. So maybe I used Facebook, guys. To talk to friends. Maybe for 1 hour. I had a better relationship with, let's say, with social media at that time. Also, it was an excellent vehicle to talk to my family, to friends, because they were, let's say, they were missing me. Not that they don't miss me anymore, but the sensation was more intense because I left my country in 2015. So it was a little bit complicated, or we were still feeling that, let's say, sensation of, let's say, like, oh, Eric left home and whatever. So good times. What else? I can tell you about 2016. I remember, guys, I used to party. Not every single weekend, but I used to go to, let's say, to a community of other foreigners who were getting used to the culture and so on. So it was nice to talk to her, to talk to them, excuse me, because I said her because I'm going to tell you about a very special person. So this is why. Meanwhile, I was rambling, guys, so that person came to my mind. um it was a really good time because we were having different experiences, but at the same time similar, because we were getting used to the language, I mean, to the bureaucracy of the country, and it was a really good time, I mean, to be honest. uh, I remember, guys, that we used to share different anecdotes, different problems. We used to meet at, let's say, at any restaurant and so on. And I remember, guys, back in 2016, from my perspective, people were not that dependent on Instagram and so on, or taking photos. I mean, in order to show what they were eating or to express their feelings. I think, guys, people were more into Facebook, and they were posting more like status, like, okay, I'm feeling happy, or whatever, with some emojis. Uh, Maybe people would say that that was cringe, or that's still cringe, but I think we were more succinct, and I mean, like, these little status were quite cool, because we express ideas and so on. I would say, guys, and it is not a problem per se, but now we are more into photos or images. So, I mean, sometimes you don't know what the person is feeling, because he or she is using a photo and whatever, but sometimes photos or images can be deceiving. So, maybe we were more explicit about our feelings back in 2016. Also, guys, I remember the music was good. I mean, there were really cool songs. And if I were to, I mean, to tell you what song reminds me the most of 2016, is that song by Major Lazer and Mo, I guess that's the name of the singer, Linan. Guys, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. It was a really cool song, but it was annoying. I remember, I mean, I had some roomies, and a girl who was my roomie, and she was teaching me some, I mean, like, the steps, and so it was quite cool, to be honest. Um, yeah, and I remember, guys, that everything was simpler in terms of interactions. I guess we had more social and emotional calluses, I would say, because nowadays, in my opinion, guys, of course, I'm speaking from my subjectivity, but I remember, guys, we could make jokes. I mean, we could play, let's say like really silly things. But nowadays, guys, I feel that you need to be like extra careful with what you say. Some people call it like woke. Some people call it that we are. I've heard the term in Spanish, like, we're the crystal generation. I don't know, guys, if in English you have a similar term, but um, yeah, I mean, like, now, for example, when I want to make a joke, I need to be extra careful. I mean, and yeah, because whenever you think that you can make a joke, because, I mean, you have the confidence with the person and etc., then you realize, like, wow, that was a really bad idea, and you end up blocked. Well, of course, I'm exaggerating, but I mean, the person will take a couple of weeks, and I mean, will be disappointed and so on. But at the same time, guys, I would say that that kind of frustration, or that lack of calluses, let's say emotional calluses, is because we're very, very overworked. And well, guys, I would like to bring a very special year for me, which was 2020, because for me that was, let's say, that breaking point in many, many aspects. I consider, guys, that 2020 to 20 sorry sorry, I consider that 2020 was a year which was supposed to happen, because, I mean, we were, let's say, we needed some reflection at home. We needed to consider many, many aspects. And for, well, of course, there were many, let's say, many very, very sad situations, if you know what I mean, like, many people, what happened and so on. So yeah, there were, let's say, economic crisis all over the world and so on. But seeing the good side, or the bright side of the situation, it was a really good time to, let's say, to have these internal conversations. I mean, to spend time with our families. um, let's say, well, for me, guys, it was a little bit funny because I was all by myself here. But it was great. It was a really good time, to be honest. Because I had time, I mean, to study, to consolidate my career and so on, which was necessary because I was feeling a little bit stuck before 2020. and 2020 was a year that really helped me catapult my career. So that was great. Anyway, guys, after the pandemic, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get demonetized or something. Well, after that situation, guys, after the blah blah blah, the P, I'm gonna call it the P, it was over. I mean, there was no like an official, guys. I know that I'm beating around the bush, but I remember, guys, that I was expecting in 2020 to be an announcement by the president of the United States, or I don't know, the president of China or whatever, saying like, well, this is the end of the COVID pandemic. We made it. Something like very enthusiastic. But of course, I mean, I was daydreaming. It was like more, let's say, more progressively, or let's say little by little, we started going back to work, and well, I mean, doing, let's say, coming back to the new normal. I remember people were using that term, like, okay, we're living the new normal, the new normal, the new normal. Anyway, guys, I think the pandemic taught us to stay more time at home. So watching Netflix, playing video games, and it kind of trained us not to go outside too much. Because I remember back in 2016, guys, going to a party was like, yay, it's Friday, let's have some drinks and so on. And even the music we used to listen back, let's say back in 2016, it was about getting, let's say, wasted, drinking a lot, dancing a lot. There was this song like a G6. I don't know if that's a little bit, let's say, 2011 perhaps. But I mean, all the songs were like, okay, let's party, let's have a good time. But now, if you pay attention to the lyrics, well, depending on the kind of music you listen to, but I would say the vast majority, it's more about introspection, our feelings, frustrations. So I think our society has become more introspective. And yeah, I mean, like, now there's, let's say, there's like this pedestal that we're placing ourselves to, so we're saying like, well, I'm the best, I'm my first priority, I don't care about the others. And this is something that, particularly speaking, I didn't like, or I don't like so much after that big thing we had, because in the past, well, I wouldn't say that the world was perfect, but there was a little bit more of empathy. I mean, we used to call our friends more frequently and so on. But I would say, guys, of course, take that as my mere perspective. I consider, guys, that after the pandemic situation, things are more like, okay, so I need to cultivate myself, I need to take care of my feelings. And yeah, I mean, like, I think there's a philosopher, it's the guy who talks about liquidity in relationships and so on. He's very famous. I forgot his name, by the way. Sorry, guys. I will do my homework. But well, this is the scenario we're seeing, or we're experiencing. If I miss the past, well, sometimes, guys, I get myself into thinking like, wow, 2016 was amazing, and so on. But at the same time, well, I was 24. I remember I was like a very skinny young guy, very stressed out because of my documentation in the new country. I was not sure about my economic status. Not that I'm like super perfect now, but now everything is a little bit calmer. But wow, guys, it was a year of a struggle. I remember that I was working for a company here in the new country, and yeah, I mean, there were many situations in that company that were not cool. But of course, I mean, it was part and parcel because I was getting, let's say, used to the country and so on. So I understood that it was part of the game. What else? Yeah, I don't like to romanticize too much the past, because I guess that, or well, I guess, and I'm confident. Well, I would choose I'm confident. I'm confident that if you start romanticizing the past, you ignore the things that were not that cool. And I remember, guys, that it was frustrating, for example, not to have enough money to buy a jacket because you need it, or because, well, of course I'm complaining for really stupid things, but oh, there's this party, there's this trip, and sometimes you were like, should I go? Should I save this money? What if I have? I think I told you about that, guys, in one of my rumbles that I was all the time thinking about my health. Like, wow, what if I have to pay? What if I had to pay for a surgery? What if I blah blah blah? If I need to go back to my country because of an emergency, and so on. So yeah, what I see in the future. I think, guys, I don't know what you think about it, but I've been noticing that new generations are getting like really bored with social media and so on. I mean, something that it has been really interesting for me is that people are reconnecting with YouTube. In my opinion, maybe if you ask me, let's say 2 or 3 years ago, I could have said like, wow, YouTube is about to finish. And I remember, guys, I read an article that said that YouTube had no had no future because everyone was enjoying more reels and so on. And to be honest, guys, I'm gonna open up my heart, but I always wanted to work with social media and, let's say, YouTube and these things because I love speaking BS. I am this kind of person who likes speaking, and well, I would like to make this as a second option. For my retirement. Who knows, guys? One of my anxiety treats, or one of my anxiety, or no, how can I say that? One of the ways I'm channeling my anxiety. So okay, let's try to find a way. To make a living, just in case. Saving money for a rainy day, whatever. Well, ignore that. But the thing is, it has been really cool, guys, and this is why I started with this channel, Eric Rumbles. There are many cool people. You can be like very bored, or let's say looking at the ceiling, and you are like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit lonely and whatever. And that connects with what I was saying before. We're feeling, let's say, lonelier. Yes, that's the way you pronounce it. Lonelier and so on, because we have we have idolized ourselves. So that's a problem, and this is why I always try to take myself out of home, because I work from home and so on. So, but I've been noticing that let's say in social terms. What I see in the future, guys, is that tendency that we will be living, let's say, our lives more outdoors, which is amazing. I really love that approach we're having to life. Maybe we are going to get into listening to more podcasts again. We definitely need to give a hand, to our concentration levels, because I don't know what happens I don't know what happened to you guys, but there was a moment, guys, that I really needed to go back to podcasts because my concentration was like total BS. It was really screwed, you know. I really like reading, or I really like writing and so on. And there was this anxiety, like, oh, so like, no, come on, Eric. So you need to to start focusing again on listening to podcasts, really taking your time to listen to people, and so on. So I see a brighter future, but at the same time, I'm a little bit afraid of social changes that could be cause for another P, or any other economic crash or something like that. So, of course, we're having a lot of problems at the moment. You know what I mean, like conflicts among countries and so on. So, sometimes, well, that would sound like very philosophical or whatever. But sometimes, guys, I think, like, why these presidents are fighting too much. It would be nice, for them to sign an agreement, and that would be perfect. But of course, that's unrealistic, But it would be cool, for everyone to have their ways, to make a living. For them to go to a restaurant whenever they want, or to buy a jacket, or, well, whatever they need. But of course, this is just a rumble. And well, guys, I hope you like it. I was speaking like a little bit of everything today. Sorry if my idea was not clear, but the purpose of the channel is just to rumble. Imagine that I'm this friend that is visiting you, let's say having a seat on your sofa, and you just ask the question like, "Hey, what's up, Eric?" And well, I'm just telling you random things because I mean, my job, guys, as I said before, is all about concentration and being like super. Okay, this is the first step, the second step. This is something that I don't want to bring to the channel. I just want to blah 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 blah. You know, and perhaps any of the ideas that I'm sharing will make sense, guys. Peace. Thank you. Take care of yourselves and well, subscribe.